It's another week and another episode of Elevate. This week we have Tobi Hamilton, a visionary entrepreneur known for her innovative thinking and transformative leadership. As the founder and managing director of the house, she's redefining social spaces and exceeding financial expectations with her creative strategies. Recently, she unveiled The Terrace, adding to her impressive hospitality journey. Tobi also heads Hamilton and Hamilton, a marketing agency empowering brands to reach new heights through compelling storytelling. With a distinguished background in strategic marketing and experience with global brands, Tobi brings a wealth of expertise to every endeavor. A Harvard Business School alumnus and former operations manager for G-Star Raw, her commitment to disruptive strategies is evident in every aspect of her work. Ladies and gentlemen, Tobi Hamilton.
Hi everyone, my name is Tobi Hamilton and I'm the founder of the House Lagos as well as The Terrace. I also own a marketing agency called Hamilton and Hamilton, as well as partner on other brands and sometimes invest in others as well. How did I start the house or get into the hospitality industry, so to speak? I've always worked. I actually enjoy working for others. I would always say to people I stumbled upon entrepreneurship. And this happened because I saw a gap in the market. Worldwide, hospitality represents over 7% of the world revenue. And if you think about it on a global scale, that's a lot of input that the hospitality industry actually puts into the world economy. Now, in coming back home to Nigeria after studying for so long outside of the country, I realized that there was a gap in the market in terms of people willing to serve. I felt like the hospitality industry existed, but it wasn't well tapped into, especially by the indigents and Nigerians. So there were not a lot of places that were by Nigerians for Nigerians that were done excellently well or considered or understood how the ecosystem of being in hospitality actually played a role towards impact, as well as employability, revenue, and whatever else you have it. So it was a very funny story. A bunch of my friends and they were always coming to my house. And it literally became the spot. And I would say I'm hospitable, but I'm also very independent. So if you come to my house, you need to kind of look after yourself. So I'm happy for you to go into the kitchen. I'm happy for you to relax, watch TV, whatever have you, as long as you don't disturb me. And when you think about it, one day I sat down and I was like, imagine I could take the house out. Also, in that stage of my life, after work, I would always find myself going to look for places that made me feel really, really happy and comfortable, just to kind of distress, recalibrate and figure out what my next steps are in my current job. And I thought, if I needed this, then a lot of other Nigerians must need this. And literally, that's how the house was born. I wanted somewhere that offered different experiences to people under one roof, while making sure we celebrated our differences. Because at that time in Nigeria, it's either you liked going to eat, or you liked Mama Put, or you liked the club. And I thought, why don't we have a space that actually makes me finish eating? Then I walk into a place where I can dance, and I walk into another place where I can wind down. And that's how the house was born. So after the house was born, I actually had no experience in hospitality. I didn't know what I was doing, but through perseverance and most importantly, through understanding consumer service and behavior, we're able to be really successful and enter top 10, then top 5 in Nigeria in no time. I'll probably streamline down to Lagos at the moment, just because of how difficult it is to actually get data that actually quantifies or qualifies you to be in that position. Now, 3 years later, or a year and a half later, the pandemic hit, which was a very, 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 very turbulent period for us. Because if you think about it, we're a new business in the market, and then we had to experience a global pandemic. We then birthed the takeout business because we didn't want to let anyone go, as we're very impactful in people's livelihoods every day. We hire over 170 people. After building takeout, I guess it gave me more confidence to realize that I can birth more things under the umbrella. And I realized I would actually like to have a portfolio of businesses just by starting one, I wanted it to have a stagger effect to create other things. Interestingly enough, about 3 years after I started the house, I suffered one of the greatest loss ever. I had a stillbirth at 9 months, and that literally broke me in ways that I didn't even feel like I could be broken. Coming out of that process, about 2 months after it happened, I realized there were two things I could do. I could either keep crying and keep wallowing in what was going on, or I needed to do something else. And literally, where the takeout business was, we had this rooftop, which was initially for staff hangout, and I didn't have any thoughts of what to do with it. And I realized that I needed to build something else. And that was the only thing that was going to keep me going, keep me focused, make sure I was still showing up every day for the people who I hired, and most importantly, showing up for myself as well. And not accepting emotional defeat, however way you want to define that. So I would say the terrace was born from that. I don't want to say it was born from grief, but probably a labor of love, because I was grieving and I needed to find something that involved building, nurturing, and everything that was rubbed off me by, wanting to have a baby and trying to pour all of that emotions into creating something else. And that's how the terrace was born. What inspired me with the terrace was in New York. They have a lot of rooftops, and I feel like Nigeria, Lagos particularly, sort of reminds me of New York, because a lot of businesses are in residential areas, they're in houses, so we have to like play around with space a lot as a nation. And that is one of our unique selling points. You want to do your nails and you have to go to this homely building, and it's not like that in a lot of Western countries. So it was inspired by New York rooftops, and I wanted a rooftop in a very quaint space. I wanted a lot of nature. I'm trying to go on a quest to understand what African summer means, because we're summer all year round, but I don't feel like we realize that we have such great weather and such great natural factors that could make us socialize more and socialize differently. So yeah, that was my inspiration behind the terrace. And a year later, I would say we're slowly becoming a household name. And I'm quite happy I was able to create something else, especially because you also don't want to feel like you cannot do it again. So being able to create something else definitely gave me the confidence that yes, it was born at a very tough period of my life, but I must not discount the experiences and the knowledge and know-how that I have learned from building the house and, submerging myself into creating a household hospitality business. So yeah, that's how the terrace was born. The biggest, actually, I wouldn't say it's the biggest, because, every day you're trying to accomplish something, but the accomplishment I'm most proud of in my career at the moment is my ability to provide jobs and livelihood. I know it's such a small thing, because I could sit here and talk about the things I have achieved. I could tell you my revenue has surpassed all my projections. I could tell you we're not in debt and we owe no one. I could tell you the business's cash flow, takes care of itself monthly. I could tell you that I've been able to get all these awards. I could tell you my educational accolades, but I think the one that stands out to me the most is the fact that over 100 people depend on me every day and every month for their source of livelihood. If you think about it, when you want a nation build, your goal is to keep educating and bringing each person out of their current situation into a next better situation. When they know better, they'll teach their kids better. Then they'll teach their grandkids better. And slowly you become a nation that is actually able to produce, able to educate, and able to grow. And we don't have to depend on the civil service or the government for everything we need to do. Each person can actually create communities and ecosystems that thrive. So my biggest accomplishment is, for the past 6 years, we have been able to develop people who have relocated countries, who have gone on to do bigger things, who have gone on to work for multinationals. And, they just have a better sense of self and their contribution to the environment. And most importantly, a lot of them have been able to start doing things for themselves. For example, we have a loan process in our business where we actually provide loans to staff. So over the past year, at least 50% of our staff have actually collected loans for their accommodation. So just like that, I now have people who realize, okay, I used to live in a place like this before. Now I want to live in a better place, closer to my job or closer to my current livelihood. And young people in their 25, 30 years old are now able to kind of provide better living conditions for themselves. They earn a salary every month with other financial benefits every 2 weeks, and that just keeps them going. And that is literally how you build the middle class. And I'm most proud that I get to contribute to that in my own little way. In my experience, so my background is in marketing and branding and strategy, and in my experience of working for other people, so I've worked with a few multinationals before I decided to start my own business. And what I would say has guided my steps the most is remembering that you're constantly selling yourself into the 4 dimensions of where you stand as a person. So you don't constantly only sell yourself to the people above you. You sell yourself to the people below you, you sell yourself to the people above you, and you sell yourself to the people beside you. What does that mean in a nutshell? If you hire people, you don't just hire them and just because you pay them, it ends there. No, you're constantly selling yourself to them so they keep wanting to work with you and for you. And without people, you go nowhere. When you market to the people above you, you're constantly creating rooms for yourself where people are able to pour into you, investment-wise, mentorship, they bring business to you. When you market yourself to people beside you, you open doors for partnerships and collaboration. So if you think about it, you become a 360 full entrepreneur, because then you're being poured to in so many directions. You have people who want to work for you. You have people who want to work with you. You have people who want to partner with you. You have people who want to collaborate with you. You have people who want to invest in you, and you have people who want to mentor you. And when you have all of that, what else do you need? So I think for me, that's one of the biggest superpowers I would say I have come to learn and to exert in everything I do. And I promise you, if you apply that sort of technique or know-how to yourself as you keep working through it, you will see so many things happen for you. But what that means is you have to constantly keep working hard, meaning just because you own something does not mean it ends there. So every day you wake up, you have to remember you're working for those 4 cardinal points: above, below, side, side. And honestly, it has served me so well because I don't drop the ball on anybody, and nobody is too big for me to work for or work with, or too little for me to work with or work for. And I would say, yeah, that's helped me a lot. So the advice I would give women who are aspiring entrepreneurs or looking to pivot into their current career, I think it's very difficult to give you one advice. What I'll do is I'll give you little nuggets of some of the things I think could help you. The first one is keep going. Life is going to be complicated. By the sheer nature of being a woman, you're combining science, which is the biology of you going through a lot of hormones, with, the macro and the micro environment, which is the perception and how, women are treated in the workplace, to your internal environment, which is your home or every other thing you deal with. By the time you bring all those things together, it already creates for a complicated journey. So the only thing you can do for yourself is keep going. And the one thing you have to hold on to while you say you want to keep going is make progress. And you don't have to have everything perfect before you make the moves. Another nugget I would give to you is do not be scared to pivot. If you're going in one direction and somehow you realize that this is what I would like to do differently, I would like to become an entrepreneur, or I'm an entrepreneur and I would like to become a 9-to-5er, or I'm in this industry and I need to change it to this industry. I work for an insurance company, but I would like to start my own business. So I've started my own business and it's no longer working for me. I'd rather go and do a course and go back into employment. Do not be scared to pivot. Whatever you do, do it very well. One thing that will not guarantee your success is mediocrity. So as much as you realize, okay, I want to do this, you can't do it halfway. You must do it with the same excellence that will get you noticed And I cannot stress that enough. Do it excellently well. You'll be so surprised at the top positions women are occupying at the moment. You'll be so surprised at how successful women are in their entrepreneurship journey. But that's because it comes with excellence. So literally, please do not forget to be excellent in whatever you do. If your job is arranging chairs for a living, be the best chair arranger ever. If your job is I don't know, you're a tailor, be the best tailor ever. If you're in a bank, be the best banker ever. Like, just be the best at what you do, or at least strive to be. And surround yourself with great women and positive women, people who don't drain you, but actually pour energy into you, because it goes a long, long way for your development and growth. And the final thing, have fun. As a woman, sometimes when we want to be taken seriously, we kind of stiffen up a little bit and we forget that our innate superpower is actually to be the pinnacle and the crucifix and the core of the home, the community, the nation, the country. Like, we make things happen by just being women. So have fun. Like, be at ease, think through it, and just do it. Like, it's really that simple.